What's the common strata issue these days in Vancouver?
And so I think a lot of people don't really realize that, well, first of all, buying a house in Vancouver is so unaffordable. So I think a lot of people end up buying in stratas, whether it's a townhouse or like an apartment building, or maybe you rent in a strata building. And I just don't think people necessarily really look at the bylaws or really understand that all strata corporations have to follow the Strata Property Act in BC. And so that basically sets out how the strata corporation is going to run and decisions are going to be made. And it's a bit of an experiment in democracy because they're, for certain things like certain repairs, using certain funds from the contingency reserve fund, you need to have an ownership vote for like 75% of the owners to agree to spend that money. And I think a lot of people just don't really realize that when they get into a condo. They're basically involving themselves in a new democracy. So just like you vote, for municipal or like provincial elections, it's the same thing. You're going to be voting now for, your council members who's going to be running the strata. So that's kind of interesting. And then like if you're buying a condo or you're moving into one, like check out the bylaws because a lot of the times they will restrict things like how many pets you can have, what size of dog you can have. And sometimes people just move in thinking this could be a great home. I've got my cat and my large dog and this is going to be perfect right beside a park, only to find out afterwards that, crap, the strata doesn't allow dogs over 50 pounds and my dog's 80. How are we going to deal with this?
What's a common issue in these days talking about?
There's a couple different things. Um, Noise is huge. So if you have a neighbor that's making a lot of noise, right? Usually the bylaws say you can't be a nuisance to your neighbor, something like that. And people get really upset about, waking up at 2 in the morning, like they should, if the guy upstairs is stomping around or playing loud music. So noise is huge. You can talk to your strata council about any problems you're having, and they can try to enforce the bylaws or talk to the guy upstairs. And I think the biggest thing is if you have any issues like noise or, maybe you have too many pets, just like have a conversation with the strata council. You can request a hearing with your strata council to talk about it. They can kind of help, figure out if there's a solution easier than them just fining you if you have a pet that's too big, or easier than just, you and that guy upstairs getting into an argument over the noise. Well, maybe the strata can make that guy install some carpets or something to like help with the noise transmission between his floor and your roof or your ceiling.